And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is another patron roster review. This is Scorn. Scorn is from the team of Requiem. So what's happening in Requiem? Now, Scorn is a pay-to-play guy, which is totally fine. He's doing very well for himself, which most people who invest some money in the game do. He's been playing for about a half a year. Really, really good, obviously, in fleet rank and arena rank. He's number one, so there's not any real suggestions and tips on how to build a team. I think he's got all of that. What he's looking for is some advanced information on how he can tweak his heroic AAT tank teams to make a little bit more of an impact. And so I'm going to really take his teams and tweak them and see if I can't give him some teams that can do more damage than what he's currently already doing. Now, he also asked for the next Zeta. What should he be doing for the next Zeta? And if I see anything else in his lineup that needs work, should I farm resistance and anything else that he should focus on? So let's get right into it. We'll start with the easy ones first. First, you want to know if you should farm resistance for speed mods. Look at you. You're almost there already for the speed mods. You could almost beat it already. So yes, I would say that you should continue to develop these guys. Put them in your favorites. And if it was me, I would probably use resistance, Trooper, Ray, Finn, R2-D2, and Poe. Poe and Ray with the synergy, Ray and R2-D2, and then of course Resistance, Trooper for the expose and whatnot should make it a little bit easier, even though the Resistance pilot hits for a ton. So with that team, you are almost there. Just continue to develop them. I think you'll be just fine. So go ahead and develop them and get your speed mods. Only do as much as you need if you're not going to use these in other aspects of the game. Just do as much as you need. You're probably going to have to get to gear 8 on all of them to be safe, to make sure that they make it through and that you 3-star it. As far as anything glaring, as I'm looking through this, any mistakes or anything that you have at the bottom that you should be focused on, honestly, I don't see any. Scorn, you've done a really, really great job of leaving kind of the lesser characters at the bottom and really focusing on the most important characters at the top. So great job on that. I don't see anything glaring. And then as far as the next Zeta, you already have Darth Vader, Maul, and Cody. Cody you're using for your clones. Vader, of course, for the Rancor raid, and Maul for arena at times. And so pretty awesome. I think that those are great. The next two I would focus on is if you love your Sith, then you may want to consider Savage. Savage and his Zeta on a Sith team is a nightmare for the opponent to deal with. I've seen video after video after video of people timing out and not being able to get through Savage in time with either a Darth Maul or another Savage on their side, where the healing and the heal over time and whatnot just keeps going and going and going and going. So he would be an excellent addition to your existing arena team, someone that you can sub in and really cause a nightmare for the opponents if you want to keep going with your Sith and if you want to keep doing that. Now, you are using kind of a hybrid team for your Sith, and so another option would be Kylo Ren. So you have invested a ton of time, energy, effort, and a little bit of money into Kylo Ren, and you've got him all the way maxed out, gear 11, great mods on him, and you got his abilities up, but you do not have a Zeta on him. It is kind of, in my opinion, an absolute waste to even look at or focus on Kylo if you're not going to take him all the way up to the top and get his Zeta. Because even with his Zeta on defense, he's a bit of a junker. He's not nearly as good on defense. And that's even with his Zeta. And so if you're not going to get the amazing overpowered offensive nature that he provides with a Zeta, then he's not even worth the energy. You've spent all this time investing in him, so his Zeta at this point, in my opinion, would be the absolute next Zeta you should do. It's going to make your team ridiculous on offense. I have seen one of the most overpowered triple cleanse teams with Chirrut and Baze being led by a Rex lead with General Kenobi and Darth Nihilus, all 5 with health and protection, with Kylo Ren damaged and the only one standing. And by the end of the battle, I saw him the only one standing and took out 5 of the most overpowered character combinations you can make in the game right now with a triple cleanse team. So Kylo Ren, while he's ridiculous on offense, is not so good on defense, but he's worthless if you don't do a Zeta, in my opinion. Without the Zeta, he's just not worth spending all of this time, energy, and effort into. So either Kylo or Savage, whichever. Both of them are amazing. Kylo you can use anywhere. Savage really just for Sith, but you have amazing Sith synergy, so you would be pretty happy with Savage as well, because you have Sith Assassin, and with Sith Assassin and Savage you can do the 2-hit combo where she hits their health and then he stomps them out. It's pretty fun as well. I've done both, and I don't regret Savage's at all, and I don't regret Kylo Ren's at all. But if it was me, I'd probably do Kylo first, then Savage. Or if you feel like the Sith meta's changing, I would do Savage first and then Kylo, since you want to get some playtime out of Savage. So there's that. Let's go ahead and go into now the raids, so we can go into how to get you more damage. Now, I don't know if your team is allowing you to take in your your Kylo Ren, especially he's not Zeta'd yet, but I don't know if you've thought about that, Zetaing him and putting him in phase 1, and if your team would allow that or not. But I still recommend a Jedi team as the way to go in phase 1. It's amazing how much damage you can get out of a Jedi team, and they're pretty easy to do. Now, whatever you're using for phase 1, you can continue to use if the Jedi don't hold up to the standard of damage dealing capability. You could always use a Sith team in phase 1 as well, but for Jedi, if you were going to use them for phase 1, I would definitely gear them. So you got them all. This is probably your most under-geared team in your entire lineup, and I am sure that's because you're not a big Jedi fan. That's okay, but if you were going to use them in this for additional damage, you're definitely going to have to invest. You could make it a hybrid team where you have, I'm a Gundai lead with Jedi Knight Anakin, Qui-Gon Jinn, Ayla, and then maybe throw in Tebow for turn meter reduction on the primary General Grievous target. So there's always those options for that, but if you tweak this Jedi team and get them geared up, it's really amazing to watch how much damage a Jedi team properly modded and properly utilized in phase 1 can do. Let's look at phase 2. Now, you have clones, and you could use clones in phase 2 or phase 4. You already know this. You already have Cody, Zeta, but phase 2, because phase 4 has a higher potential for damage with the clones, I would recommend you using your Rebels. And I actually would recommend a Jinn lead, so that way everybody's gaining constant protection back, and then your Chirrut and Baze, and then your Wedge and Biggs. And the reason for that is with all of the uniques with Wedge and Chirrut providing health back and Jinn providing protection back, this is kind of your clone team, so to speak, for phase 2. It's amazing how many you can get between 1 to 2 million very easily with this team in phase 2. Very easily. I've seen people do over 2 million. So definitely a Jinn lead with Wedge and Biggs, and then Bazin, Chirrut, Imwe for phase 2. For phase 3, I noticed that you do have a 7-star Chief Chirpa. He's a bit of a junker when it comes to gear. He's just going to die relatively quickly, and even though his leadership lives on for the rest of the encounter, you really do want to get as much out of every single character you bring in as possible, and you can do it without Chief Chirpa. And so I've got a team that I think might be more durable for you, and that is going to be an Emperor Palpatine-led team with TIE Fighter Pilot, Royal Guard, Shore Trooper, Stormtrooper Han. So the critical components of this is going to be Emperor Palpatine, Royal Guard, TIE Fighter Pilot, and Stormtrooper Han. Your 5th slot could be a lot of people. It could be Shore Trooper, it could be Sunfac, it could be 5s. There's a bunch of third tanks that you could utilize. You can try them all and see which one. The idea here, though, is obviously TIE Fighter Pilot really, really fast, Emperor Palpatine fast. TIE Fighter Pilot's going to go. He's going to put a bunch of debuffs under Emperor Palpatine. That means he just gets to go relentlessly, and because of that, he's going to do tons of damage. If you have him crit chance, crit damage mods on him, he is going to do a ton of damage, and he puts Foresight up because of their debuffs, and so they're going to almost never hit him. It's pretty awesome. He's going to hit 25k, 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 and in the meantime, Emperor Palpatine is shocking every one of those adds, and because of that, he's getting more and more turn meter, more and more turn meter. Next thing you know, you got 2 very high damage dealing characters dealing lots of damage. I can see this doing actually more than the Chief Chirpa lead, especially for you and where you have all of your gear. Really, it's going to be that 3rd tank that you bring in as to how durable this team will be and how long it lasts. And for phase 4, I'm really hoping phase 4 you're using clones. The only way to get this team doing more damage is you have your 5s at gear 10. You need them at gear 11. It just creates significant more durability. Get that last piece of gear in 5s so that way he is there. You actually will pull Rex off the team. I know that sounds crazy, but you're going to do it, and you're going to put Leia in this position. Now, you don't have a very high geared Leia. You have Princess Leia sitting around with mediocre mods, her attacks and abilities at only level 3, and she's at gear 7. So she's not usable at this point for Phase 4. But if you've ever watched any YouTube at all, you know that there's the Princess Zodi combination, and that is the clones with a Zeta on Cody and then Princess Leia. I highly recommend that you do this. It creates significantly more damage. So use this team with your Cody lead, of course, because of his Zeta. Take Rex out once you have Leia leveled up. So slap a favorites tab on Leia and go ahead and gear her up, get her attacks and abilities up, Omega even her abilities, so that way she stays around longer. She'll always be in stealth. She'll be putting critical chance up on a literal turn-by-turn basis. You can make her fast. You don't have to because she's a naturally fast character, but I would make her a little bit faster. The fastest character you need on this team is going to be Cody, so make sure that you get Cody really, really fast, basically as fast as you can with the mods that you have. So that is what I would do to tweak, Phase 1, you got to gear them up. The only way to make your Jedi do more is to gear them up. Phase 2, do your Rebels. Phase 3, do the Emperor Palpatine, TIE Fighter Pilot Royal Guard, Stormtrooper Han, and one other tank combo. And for Phase 4, do your clones with Leia. She's going to give you significantly more damage, durability, and longevity for the clones. Pretty awesome. You asked about resistance. Yes, do the rest of your resistance for your speed mods. There's nothing else I see that's glaring. And for your next Zeta, make it be Savage or Kylo Ren. Savage if you want to play him in your Sith team, and Kylo if you want to put him in on any team anywhere because he's just that good. Both of those should be the next 2 Zetas because of what you have in your inventory, in my opinion. But there is always the opportunity to save your Zeta and wait for another character to come out, although I love to live in the moment and have the characters I have in my inventory already geared up and maxed out, just taken to that next level, so it's fun. As always, Scorn, have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. Keep your gaming on. Warrior, out.